Welcome to Little English Studio, where English learning meets the inspiring stories of the world's greatest people. Here, we tell life journeys in simple and clear English, so you can improve your English while learning powerful lessons of success, struggle, and hope. Today, we explore the fascinating story of Mark Zuckerberg, the boy who loved computers, the young man who built Facebook in a college dorm room, and the leader who transformed it into one of the most powerful companies in the world. From childhood curiosity to global influence, this is the story of how Mark Zuckerberg changed the way billions of people connect. Mark Elliott Zuckerberg was born on May 14, 1984 in White Plains, New York. He grew up in the nearby village of Dobbs Ferry in Westchester County. His father, Edward Zuckerberg, was a dentist, and his mother, Karen, was a psychiatrist. From an early age, Mark showed unusual curiosity and intelligence. While other children were playing outside, Mark often spent hours in his room, reading books, playing with computers, or writing little codes. His father noticed Mark's talent early and bought him his first computer when he was still a child. By the time Mark was in middle school, he could already write computer programs. One of his first creations was a simple messaging system that allowed his father's dental office to communicate with the family home. Instead of yelling across rooms, his dad and assistants could send quick notes using Mark's homemade software. This was just the beginning of Mark's journey. He once said, "I just love building things. I wasn't thinking about creating a company, I just wanted to build something useful." Mark attended Ardsley High School, where he quickly stood out as a brilliant student, but his parents wanted to give him greater opportunities, so they transferred him to Phillips Exeter Academy, one of the best prep schools in the United States. At Exeter, Mark was not only good at computers, he also studied Latin, Greek, and science. He loved ancient history and could recite lines from Roman poetry, but computers remained his true passion. During his teenage years, Mark built several interesting programs. One of them was called Synapse Media Player, a music player that could learn your favorite songs and create playlists based on your taste. Tech companies like Microsoft and AOL noticed his work and tried to hire him even before he finished high school, but Mark refused. He wanted to go to college. In 2002, Mark Zuckerberg entered Harvard University. He studied psychology and computer science, but he was not the typical student who only focused on grades. Instead, he spent much of his time building small but powerful projects. At Harvard, Mark became known as a brilliant programmer. One of his first famous creations was FaceMash, a website where students could compare photos of classmates and rate who looked better. Within hours, thousands of students were using it. The site spread like wildfire, but it also caused controversy and was shut down by Harvard. Still, FaceMash showed something important. Mark had the ability to build something people wanted to use immediately. Soon after, he began thinking about a bigger idea, a digital version of the student directory, where people could create profiles, share information, and connect with friends. With the help of friends like Eduardo Saverin, Dustin Moskovitz, Andrew McCallum, and Chris Hughes, Mark started building a new platform. On February 4, 2004, in his Harvard dorm room, Mark Zuckerberg launched the Facebook.com. The site allowed students to create profiles, add photos, and connect with others. At first, it was only open to Harvard students, but it quickly spread to other Ivy League universities like Yale, Stanford, and Columbia. Students loved it. Unlike MySpace or Friendster, the Facebook felt more personal, clean, and easy to use. Mark soon realized this was bigger than just a college project. With Eduardo providing money, Dustin handling technical issues, and Chris working on communication, the team expanded the platform. By the end of 2004, over 1 million students were on the Facebook. Mark made a bold decision. He dropped out of Harvard to focus full-time on building his company. He once explained, "In a world that's changing so quickly, the biggest risk you can take is not taking any risk." In the summer of 2004, Mark and his friends moved to Palo Alto, California, the heart of Silicon Valley. They rented a small house which became both their office and home. There they worked day and night to improve the Facebook. Venture capitalists soon noticed the potential. Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, invested $500,000 in the company, giving it the resources to grow. In 2005, the company officially became Facebook, dropping the from its name. That same year, Facebook expanded beyond universities and allowed high school students to join. Soon after, it opened to anyone over 13 years old with an email address. Facebook's growth was explosive. By 2006, it had 12 million users. By 2007, the number doubled. Mark Zuckerberg was only 23 years old in 2007, but Facebook was already becoming one of the most important websites in the world. Microsoft invested $240 million in the company, giving Facebook a valuation of $15 billion. Mark, however, remained focused on the long-term mission, to connect the world. He often wore the same simple grey t-shirt and jeans, saying he didn't want to waste time deciding what to wear. I really want to clear my life to make it so that I have to make as few decisions as possible about anything except how to best serve this community. Under his leadership, Facebook introduced the news feed, which changed how people consumed information. Later came the like button, which became a universal symbol of social approval. By 2012, Facebook had over 1 billion users, a milestone never seen before in history. That same year, Facebook became a public company, and Mark, at just 28 years old, became one of the youngest billionaires in the world. With success came challenges. Facebook faced criticism over privacy, data protection, and its role in spreading misinformation. One of the biggest controversies came in 2018, when it was revealed that Cambridge Analytica, a political consulting firm, had collected data from millions of Facebook users without their consent. This scandal led to global investigations and damaged Facebook's reputation. Mark was called to testify before the US Congress. He admitted mistakes and promised to do better. We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. It was my mistake, and I'm sorry. Despite the challenges, Facebook continued to grow. Mark focused on improving security and expanding into new areas. In 2021, Mark announced that Facebook would change its parent company's name to Meta Platforms. The idea was to focus on the metaverse, a digital world where people can work, play, and interact using virtual and augmented reality. This was a bold move. Some people supported the vision, while others criticized it as unrealistic. But for Mark, it was the natural next step. The metaverse is the next frontier, just like social networking was when we got started. Meta now controls Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Oculus, making it one of the most powerful tech companies in the world. Despite his fame, Mark tries to live a relatively simple life. He married Priscilla Chan, a pediatrician he met at Harvard in 2012. Together, they have 2 daughters. Mark and Priscilla are also known for their philanthropy. In 2015, they announced the Chan-Zuckerberg initiative, promising to donate 99% of their Facebook shares over their lifetime to causes like education, science, and health. We believe that all lives have equal value, and that includes future generations. Mark Zuckerberg's story is not just about creating a website. It is about how one young man's passion for building tools transformed into a mission to connect the entire world. From a college dorm room to leading a company that serves billions, his journey teaches us. Start small, think big. Facebook began as a student project. Take risks. Dropping out of Harvard was bold, but it allowed him to focus. Learn from mistakes. Even when facing scandals, Mark admitted responsibility. Keep evolving. From Facebook to Meta, he always looks to the future. As he once said, the question isn't, what do we want to know about people? It's, what do people want to tell about themselves? This was the story of Mark Zuckerberg, the boy from New York who loved computers, the Harvard student who built a social network, and the leader of one of the world's most influential companies. His journey reminds us that innovation begins with curiosity, success comes from persistence, and leadership means taking responsibility. Thank you for watching Little English Studio, where English learning meets the inspiring stories of the world's greatest people. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep learning.